Donald Trump on the Dan Bongino show. You know, like at one point, it's going to be clear that like there's money behind this stuff that is, you know, platforming these guys on top of their platforms. I mean, I'm just sorry. There's no reason for Dan Bongino to have exploded in the way that he does. You know, like I see people say like, we've got to get out there. All these right-wing shows are like the top podcasts and whatnot, but there is subsidies floating 100%. Around. If somebody's paying $30 million to hype Trump on Polymarket, it gives you a sense. It's the same theory I have like with the tenant media thing. If you are taking $100,000, like I was talking to the Vanguard guys about this, and it like occurred to me like Dave Rubin made more in his tenant media deal, and frankly Tim Pool in his tenant media deal to license his show, made more in 2 weeks than I made in licensing this thing to Peacock.
Yeah.
For an entire year. 50 times more. More than 50 times.
You're bad at deals.
Like,
yeah, what? Get your business stuff together. That's what Tim said.
Like,
you're a CFO, Sam.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't believe this.
Right.
You know, and if it came from anybody except for people who were in a business that I could turn on and say like, oh yeah, they also have The Office or whatever it is. Right. I would have been very, very suspicious. But for them, getting money from sources that are paying them well above market rate is just like, of course. That's
Tuesday.
That's the business they've been swimming in.
They were used to it. It's what 100%. You've said. That's why they took 100%. The money with so few questions, is because they probably have done this kind of thing before.
Yeah, and it's like, never had a problem in the past. Why would I have a problem now? Anyways, here's Donald Trump on the Dan Bongino show, which is interesting because he said no to the shade room
after like 3 weeks of negotiations with them. He's been dropping out of multiple interviews this week, and people are kind of raising their eyebrows because he's not sounding great in public.
I wonder what the nature of those interviews were too, though.
Yeah, exactly.
But Democrats don't have to be honest. They really don't have to be honest because they will never be accused of anything. It's interesting. I was so amazed that Harvey Weinstein got schlonged. He got hit as hard as you can get hit because he was sort of the king of the woke, right? Yeah. And yet he got hit. And I figured that maybe he wouldn't get hit so hard. But boy, did he get, you don't know him well, I don't know him well. But I watched that, and it was amazing. So when they do get hit, they get hit. But that's the only one I can think of. Normally, they protect everybody. What they did with Adams, I think, is very suspect.
I heard you bring that up last night.
Well, but yeah, so Democrats don't have to be honest. They really don't have to.
Let's be clear here. Adams and Harvey Weinstein and, well, I don't know. I guess you could probably
the kings of the
Matt
world.
Lauer and just about, so many people who got, taken out with
schlonged, as he said.
Yes, someone gave him a penis.
The schlong.
Harvey Weinstein was penised.
If the cameras were not on, he would have said that they got effed.
Yeah,
but he kind of caught himself there.
Yeah,
I don't know if schlonged is much better.
Schlonged is more just visceral.
I think it literally means penised. But that's evidence. It's fascinating. They will cite evidence that completely disproves their entire theory and say that, which is suspicious. It's like,
actually proves my point.
Well, it doesn't prove my point. It's suspicious. It doesn't contradict my point, even though it contradicts my point. But this is sort of like Brett Weinstein territory. It almost feels like they are doing things contrary to my conspiracy theory as a way of
to throw me off.
Throw me off to like they're doing some type of double trickster on me.
And
so
what was he trying to say? He was so amazed that Weinstein got schlonged.
He immediately contradicted himself because he's like, the Democrats they get away with everything.
But he was sort of king of the woke, right? And yet he got hit, is the quote.
So yeah. And then he's like, well, okay, except for that main example, I can't think of any others. But of course, there are a number of examples.
they bring up Eric Adams, who's also been.
He feels sympathy for those guys. That's basically what he's talking around. He's like, oh, Harvey and I, we're kind of in the same boat. You know, I mean, hey, Trump has been accused by dozens of women of sexual assault, found liable of sexual battery in the E. Jean Carroll case. So makes sense that when he thinks about Harvey, he goes, oh, another one of us went down.
Can't do anything anymore.
People are saying that he sounds like he's dying. It did occur to me that if you're just listening on audio, you would be like, whoa.
It's wild how much worse he looks, even than when Biden dropped out of the race. Like,
Yeah.
I think he's slowed in the past month.
Staying
And
in
the
the
kiss
race.
he gave to Hulk Hogan was the worst.
That was it. That was when
The kiss
that was when
goodbye.
Trump was hot. And now
Last bit of vivacity.
exactly. I used it all up on that kiss.
Like the Grinch heart, it just
All
worked
of my
too hard. And
all
then
of
broke in
my
half.
passion for life went out of my face in that moment.
Keeps him in reserve.
Aesop Fables, did you see Trudeau alleging that Tucker and Jordan Peterson got Russia Today money for vaccine disinformation? I'm going to need a little more evidence, but I wouldn't be shocked. All right, folks, that's the program for today. Let me read just 5 IMs and then we'll get out of here. Emma, you're going.
Orlando's show I'm going to be on in 15 minutes.
Oh boy. Okay, then 3. Instant. I'm staying in the race. Hey Sam, you stated throughout last week that you're unsure if we will not have clear election results for a long time. Can you elaborate on this? Are you worried about election challengers being successful? I think it has the potential of being close and getting election results the next day. But then it's going to be contended and contentious. How seriously people take it will be a function of things that are out of our control. Things like the media and whatnot. That's what I meant. I think I addressed it in the program today. John Miller, it's always cathartic to hear from Digby, even if the topics of discussion aren't. Indeed. Madman Sam. One time I was applying for executive position at Starbucks and the interviewer asked me how I plan on cutting operational costs. I proceeded to tell him about the time I talked to a used car salesman down to $1,200. Trump voice. I said, there's too much fat. I'm not signing it. Dennis. The guy's name was Dennis. Dennis, I got to have a 3 in it. Worked like a charm. I call it art of the deal. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.